Today we're going to get a look at a new product, the Sabaj A3. This is a Class D 80 watt per channel amplifier. Features analog, optical, Bluetooth, and a USB input. We're going to put this unit through its paces and see what it'll do and what it won't do, and if there's any shortcomings of this. We're even going to take it apart and show you guys what's inside on this brand new product. Let's take a look at it. Specifications for the A3 are as follows. Total harmonic distortion plus noise is only 0.08%. It has a signal to noise ratio of 90 decibels, channel separation of 80 decibels, and it will support Windows XP, Windows 7, 8, 8.1, and 10 for the USB input. Bit depth is 16 to 24 bits for your digital source. It'll accept 44.1 through 192 kilohertz sampling rate, has 80 watts per channel into 4 ohms. Power consumption is 50 watts, and the standby power is only 1 watt. And it also comes with this little Bluetooth antenna for the Bluetooth feature, which will give you much better range than a lot of the antennas that are built into the board. And we're going to test the Bluetooth range of this system when I set it up. It also features a 3.5 millimeter auxiliary port and an optical port, as well as a micro USB, which will be used to connect to your computer, so that it'll act as your sound card and give you much better sound than you would get out of your laptop speakers, for example. So I'm going to connect the speakers up, and we're going to run all the sources through this unit and see how well it performs. And I'll let you guys hear the sound, obviously, through the microphone on the camera, but it actually sounded very good. I was quite impressed with this unit here. I did run into a couple of little snags, which I will talk about that when we get to that point. But there was no fault with the unit itself. It was actually a fault of some of the equipment that I was connecting to it, which we will go into shortly. So let's get this hooked up and let's see what it does. Okay, first, this has a full digital DAC that you can plug into your computer and give really good sound through your good speakers. So this is probably what a lot of people will use one of these little A3 amplifiers for, is taking the sound from their laptop or from other devices and using this as their sound card, because this is going to sound a whole heck of a lot better than listening to something through the speakers built in to their laptop. All you need to do is plug your USB in. Now, what I need to tell you is that not all USB cords are created equal. Like, for example, this is a USB cord that I've been using for a bunch of various things, usually for powering equipment and charging batteries and stuff. And if I plug this USB cord in here, plug this into my laptop, nothing happens. But you'll notice on the display here, it says USB is locked. That USB cord is not compatible. Let's get another USB cord. I'll use the one that came with the unit, which just happens to be a white one, but we'll use the USB cord that came with the unit to show you what the difference is. I plug this one in, and I plug this into my laptop. Ta-da! And it tells me it's 48 kilohertz. Now, anything I play on my laptop, the sound is going to come out of my speakers. So, for example, if I go down and play some royalty-free music from the Music Bakery, it will launch, and it will play through the USB port. And the sound quality is excellent. So that's one source of an input. And it doesn't matter what I play. If I play a video, let me find a video on here, the sound will go through the amplifier. Won't play the whole concert, obviously, because I get a little bit of trouble with YouTube, but get the idea. I haven't seen this show yet, so I'm gonna have to sit down and actually watch this show, because I don't know if you guys have seen Steve Vai, but he's one incredible guitarist, probably one of the best guitarists alive. Him and Joe Satriani are just fantastic players. You really got to take in one of their shows, because you'll be blown away, absolutely blown away. For rock guitarists, well, these guys will play everything, but it's just incredible. Anyway, can't show you guys that, but what I can tell you is just on the speakers in my shop here, this thing sounds fantastic. I have to be taking this thing into my office and using this on my computer, because this thing is just amazing, the sound. Anyway, that's the USB input on this thing. Let's explore some of the other inputs on here, and then we'll go over the specs, and I'm actually going to take this thing apart. So just plug it into your USB, and anything that you play on your computer is going to stream through the Sabaj A3 digital amplifier. And one thing I do need to mention about the USB cables. These are ones that you get quite often at cell stores. You know, when you go in to buy a spare USB cable, or when you're buying accessories and they say, hey, how about an extra USB charging cable? This is a lot of times what they sell you, these ones here. That's probably where this one came from. It's a charging cable. It's not a data cable, so there are differences, and again, you don't know until you try it, right? Whether it's going to interface with your computer or not. Generally, the one that comes with your cell phone is going to work fine, and it's going to interface to any device. But a lot of the ones that you buy aftermarket, whether you buy them at the dollar store or whether they come with batteries, these cell phone booster batteries, and they come with an adapter cable, that's chances are not going to be a data cable. If you cut these open, you'll find that there's only 2 wires in it, not 4. So that's something to keep in mind. If you've got something that doesn't appear to be working when you plug it in with USB, check the source of your cable, because if you bought the thing online or went into a cell store or one of these kiosks that's at the mall and bought yourself an extra cable, you probably just bought a charging cable and it will not work. That's my 2 bits on that. Okay, let's hook this thing up to a digital audio source using the Toslink optical. Now, some people call this fiber optic. I get really annoyed when I hear people call this fiber optic. I'll show you the reason why. So here on the left, I'm holding a real Corning fiber optic cable that would be used by your ISP or your telecom, and to give you your internet signal. And as you can see, if you look at the end of this, it's a polished glass type connector. And here's the Toslink. The Toslink's got my red light coming from my cable box on there. The biggest enemy of optical is dirt. So let's just clean the ends of the optical connector here. Make sure it's not dirty. We'll plug that back into the cable box again. I still have no signal. I'll try another source and see if my cable box is not working. So when in doubt, try a different optical cable. So I went and got another one. This one's from my studio that is working. And I do know it does work because I use this one with my DAT machine. So we'll try this optical cable and see whether this one works. I still have nothing. Okay, I've got it connected to a different cable box. I went and got one out of the house just to make sure that the one that I'm out here in my workshop is not bad. As you can see, the red light's there, so the signal's there. When I plug it into this unit, I'm getting nothing. No signal. So I was thinking about the problem I was having with the optical signal not working on this and working fine on my other amplifier. So I got to thinking maybe this needs a little bit more of a signal. But since I don't have a shorter cord, I was looking for a solution, and I came up with this, my little portable Sony DAT machine, which I bought in 1992, that you guys have seen before. It has this adapter. Well, we'll give this one a try and see whether this one works. So here's the optical signal, and if you look at it, it actually looks brighter than the optical signal through the 12-foot cable, because with fiber optic, we deal with what's called attenuation, and the longer the cable, the more the light gets attenuated. So I plug this one into the back here. Aha, 44.1 kilohertz. Let's play something on the classic DAT Walkman. There it is, it's working. I can't play this obviously for more than a few seconds or I'm going to get hit with copyright, but I'm playing the Richard Strauss Symphony. But I can say it sounds fantastic. So next we'll try the Bluetooth setting on this. So go to Bluetooth, and I'm just going to search for a Bluetooth device on here, and it should show up. I don't know why it sees an Apple TV. I don't have any Apple TVs around here. But I see it here. We'll connect to it. We are successfully connected. So now I can exit out of this. I always use my old BlackBerry 10 for this type of stuff, because if it'll pair with this, it'll pair with anything, right? I'll go to my file manager and select some royalty-free music. And we'll pick this one. We'll see how it plays. Now, like other Bluetooth devices, I'm going to go do a range test on this. So I'm going to open up the door here and I'm going to take a walk and see how far this thing goes. Okay, they claim 30 meters. I was a good 30 meters away when I tested it. It worked all the way across the street and into the neighbor's front yard. Not bad. As good as any Bluetooth I've seen. The one last mode I haven't tested is the analog input. So I have an analog source, plug it into auxiliary, and then we'll select the analog input here. And there's the analog source that's playing. So if we depress the volume button, it will cycle through to the other menus, like equalizer mode. So it has preset equalizers for different types of music. We'll just go through them. Let's give it a bit of volume here. So it's got rock, soft rock, jazz, classical, dance music, pop, soft, hard, party, vocal, hip hop, dialogue, super bass 1 and super bass 2, super bass 3. So you can see there's 16 settings. And off. So 15 settings and no equalization, no preset equalization. You also have bass and treble. So you can adjust your own equalization to your liking. Timer is for the display. If you want the display to turn off, or you can leave the display on. And then there's a dimmer, so you can adjust the brightness of the display. So for example, if you don't want the display showing all the time, you can go into settings and we'll change the timer here. We'll change it to 5 seconds. And then the display will mute after 5 seconds, or I should say the display will blank. As soon as you touch it to adjust the volume, the display will come on again and then it will go off. It always displays your volume level here as well. I don't know what the dir means. Now one thing I didn't have that I thought it might, but I tried to plug a USB stick in with music on it in through one of these USB adapters that you would use with a phone or a tablet, right, to make the operate as a U drive. But when I plug this in, it won't see it. I thought for a minute that maybe it would be able to see this, but as you can see, it doesn't read a USB drive, which would be a nice feature if it did, but it doesn't. Anyway, let's take this thing apart and see what's inside this unit. The unit itself is held together with Torx screws. It's finding my old BlackBerry there that I haven't used as a phone for several years, but it still receives all my emails. Oh, more screws. More screws on the bottom. Probably have to take this nut off here as well. Off the encoder. There we go. Oops. That was kind of an oops. I just unplugged the display. Didn't expect that to happen. That's because there's another hidden screw here under this display that I didn't see. Under the plastic here, there's another hidden screw. So I got to take that off so I can take this front piece off in order to plug that display back in when I put this thing back together. So I got to try and get this glass off of here without damaging it. Yeah, it's stuck on there really good, double-sided tape. But as you can see, if you don't take one of these things apart, how's that sound? Otherwise you're going to end up scratching it up like this brand new unit that's mine is now all beat up looking. All because I wanted to show you guys what's inside this thing. Here's the amp itself. I'm going to reconnect the front panel. Drop it a few times. There. It connects like that. I'll put the nut back on here because there was not really any need to remove that. That's what holds it to the board. It was just getting that other hidden screw out there, the booby trap, as I like to call these things, for companies that do that, that put screws underneath panels and stuff. I call that the booby trap. Because you're trying to open something up and you break something trying to get into it because you're not aware that they've got hidden screws. Okay, here's the amplifier chip is obviously under this heatsink, which is attached to the amplifier chip, and it's held in place by 2 more screws. So this thing's going to have very good cooling for the chip, because the heatsink itself is also screwed down to the cabinet. They don't have any heatsink compound here. It's between the chip and this aluminum plate, but there's going to be more than ample heat transfer from here to the actual metal box. And this is an aluminum solid, one solid piece. It's not a split type chassis. This is one solid piece of aluminum. Very well built. This circuit board actually looks to be very well built too. So here's the bottom of the unit. As you can see, it seems to be very well built. That's the bottom side of the board. Let's take a look at the top side. Here's our Bluetooth module connected over here to the external Bluetooth antenna, which is required on a design like this because it's an all metal box. So if they tried to put an antenna on the circuit board, like a lot of them are, it's not going to receive anything. So they had to go with an external antenna, which I think is an excellent design. There's a little external antenna with the SMA connector. And there's the lead going in to the RF input for the Bluetooth. I mean, more than likely, that's what this is going to find itself as a Bluetooth amplifier anyway. When I put it into service, I'll be using this probably just as a Bluetooth unit. There's the big inductors here for the output and the filter capacitors. It's got a big 3900 microfarad 25 volt main filter. They've done their own board. Even for the display, they've had their own board made for them. There's the rotary encoder. Soldered on nicely. Overall, this unit looks to be really well built. Now, getting this thing back together, that could be the challenge. Because, as you know, it's not going to slide into the case with its front on here. I'll actually have to take it off of there and feed it through the case separately while keeping this connected. That's going to be the challenge, getting this thing back together. Let's put it together now and see if it still works. So obviously, the only way to put this unit together will be to undo the front faceplate here. And kind of turn it sideways like this so that I can slide it through the entire unit. And align it with the, I gotta slide the circuit board into a groove here. I think it's that one. Like that, and then I should be able to get the front piece back out and reattach it to the front. And now get some screws into the unit to keep it from falling apart. We'll put the regular Phillips screws in first that hold the heatsink in place. That'll prevent the board from moving. Okay, I got two long screws that go through the front here to hold the front panel on. Okay, power this thing back up. I'll put it in Bluetooth mode. Play some music. And then we'll put the unit back together. I guess I have to turn on the Bluetooth here. Hold on. Yeah, it might help if I put the antenna on it, right? Okay, let's try it now with the antenna connected to it. Good as new. Don't want to play that one even though it's royalty free. That one there tends to get a lot of heat. A lot of claims on that one, even though it's royalty free. Third parties, right? So I have to be kind of careful as to what I pick. Okay, that's back together and working. I'm just going to take care of the scratches on the cabinet now. Little trick I learned years ago. There, at least it's not as noticeable. Put the glass back on. Put the button in here first. Make sure there's no dust in it. There. Take a look at the remote control. What can we do with the remote on this thing? We can adjust the volume. What else can we do? Looks like we can adjust the volume, mute the sound, go through the menus, adjust the bass and treble, basically do everything that we can do from the front here. Change the preset settings, right? And probably change the input. Change the input on this thing? Yes, I can change the input. I can't control the Bluetooth device from here. It's a Bluetooth receiver, but I don't have control of the tracks that it's playing. That's done from the Bluetooth device itself. So the remote control is kind of quite limited. It's the same remote control as that other one that I also had. This seems to be quite the the common remote that they're using on these. Anyway. That's it. Look inside and outside of the Sabaj, I guess, A3 Class D amplifier. The link is in the description. Hope you guys enjoyed a look at this little unit. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you again in the next one real soon.